cold night in 1904. Deep beneath the streets of New York, a worker stepped into a tunnel no one above ground even knew existed. Within minutes, he would either help build the future of a city, or disappear into a maze. Most people know New York as the city that never sleeps. But almost no one knows what's hidden beneath it. Above ground, New York pulses with life. But beneath it lies a hidden world few will ever see. Since 1904, an immense network of subway tunnels has carried millions beneath the city, a second New York, always moving, always alive. Deeper still, colossal tunnels push over 1 billion gallons of water every single day, unseen, unheard, but essential to survival. Even deeper, a web of electricity and communication flows like a nervous system, powering every light, every signal, every connection. And beyond these living systems lie the forgotten ones. Stations that no longer appear on maps, tunnels that lead nowhere, spaces sealed off and left behind by time.
New York isn't just a city. It's a vertical civilization.
But some parts of this underground world were never meant to be found again.
Hidden beneath the heart of New York lies a station frozen in time. When it opened in 1904, this was not just a subway stop. It was a masterpiece. Passengers didn't descend into darkness. They stepped into what felt like a palace underground. In an age of ambition and innovation, even the underground was built to inspire. Today, millions rush through cramped stations without a second glance, unaware that one of the most beautiful stations ever built sits abandoned just beneath their feet. In 1945, it was closed. Not because it failed, but because the city outgrew it. A masterpiece left behind by progress. But City Hall wasn't the only station that vanished.
Not every station in New York was meant to be found. Somewhere beneath Queens, there are whispers of a station that shouldn't exist. They call it the 76th Street Station, a so-called ghost station hidden beyond the end of the line. Over the years, transit workers have claimed to see it. A platform, lights, a station that appears, then disappears. But most historians argue there's no confirmed evidence, no official record, no verifiable proof. So why do the stories persist? Why do fragments of maps feel incomplete? And why do official records remain so vague? Decades before the first subway ever opened, someone had already built one in secret. In 1870, inventor Alfred Ely Beach constructed a hidden railway beneath Broadway. A futuristic system powered not by engines, but by air itself. Passengers were carried through a pneumatic tube, gliding beneath the city in near silence. But this wasn't just innovation. It was defiance. To avoid political resistance, he built it quietly, almost overnight, beneath a city that had no idea it existed. And just as quickly, it disappeared. This wasn't just an invention. It was rebellion, buried underground. Not every underground space was forgotten. Beneath Riverside Park, a hidden passage became something else entirely. In the 1980s and 90s, this tunnel became home to those with nowhere else to go. A hidden community beneath the city. They weren't just shadows in the dark. They were people building lives in a place the world had forgotten. And then, the walls began to speak. Artists transformed the tunnel into a canvas, turning ruin into expression, silence into voice. This wasn't just infrastructure. It was life, hidden beneath the surface. But some underground systems were never abandoned. They're still working, right now. Far below the surface, tunnels carry over 1 billion gallons of water every single day, feeding millions of people, silently sustaining the city above. Hidden in plain sight, high-speed rail lines connect entire regions, moving beneath rivers, beneath borders. Even the city's waste vanishes into a high-speed vacuum network, a system most residents never even realize exists. Water, transport, energy, communication. An entire world operating beneath your feet. The real underground city isn't abandoned. It's invisible. Long before the city above could thrive, someone had to carve out the world below. They were called sandhogs, the men who dug New York's deepest tunnels. To keep water from flooding in, they worked in extreme air pressure, a dangerous environment that could turn deadly in seconds. If they surfaced too quickly, the pressure could tear through their bodies, a condition known as the bends. They worked in isolation, cut off from sunlight, from time, from the world above. Every inch of tunnel was earned, through risk, through endurance, through sacrifice. They weren't building tunnels. They were gambling with their lives. Not everything underground was built for survival. Some spaces were built to be hidden, places where only a few were meant to enter. Beneath one of the city's most iconic landmarks lie catacombs that hold centuries of history and memory. A reminder that even in death, the city continues below the surface. Elsewhere, behind unmarked doors, entire worlds exist out of sight. Hidden bars, secret rooms, forgotten entrances. Some of these places were designed to be invisible, known only to those who knew where to look. Some of these places weren't meant to be public, and some still aren't. Beneath every street in New York lies another story. Long before skyscrapers, this land belonged to the Lenape, whose lives, tools, and traditions are still buried beneath the city. As centuries passed, new layers formed above the old, colonial roads, forgotten buildings, and foundations lost to time. The deeper you go, the older the city becomes. But every new building, every new tunnel, risks erasing what came before. Progress builds the future, but it can also bury the past. And beneath it all, history waits, unseen. The story of what lies beneath New York isn't over. As cities grow more crowded, expansion is no longer just upward, it's downward. From smart infrastructure to hidden transport systems, the underground is becoming the next frontier of urban life. But with every new tunnel comes a choice. What do we preserve, and what do we leave behind? The future of cities may not be taller, but deeper. New York may be the city that never sleeps, but beneath it lies a world that never stops moving. And this raises a question. If this much history is hidden under one city, what secrets are buried beneath the rest of the world? Watch next. The underground cities of Paris, the catacombs explained, and uncover what history tried to hide.